Hi, good evening. The art of embracing change and creating magic. A quick detour. Let's look at the general state of government schools in our country. About 60% government schools, they need a lot of repairs. About 68% toilets, not in good shape, unusable. Essentially unwelcoming schools. Can I ask a question by show of hands? How many of you have actually been to a government school around? All right. And how many of you feel that government schools need a lot of work? All right. So, and not just the infra, quality education is also way behind. And if India as a country, if it is to explore its potential and really make leverage the youth, the young population that it has, it really needs to sort its education right. However, this talk is not just about these issues. It's about my dream, and it's about my dream of transforming these schools. So, just sharing the key learnings of my journey so far in transforming these schools. One, everything will change. Nothing stays constant. And second, that we need to really, really, really embrace this change, and only then we can create solutions which are really effective. So, this is the picture of my mom. She was a school teacher. Uh, she's been a teacher in Udaipur. I belong to Udaipur. And, she's been teaching in schools nearby Udaipur. And I have seen her for the past 20, 25 years. Most of our schools, they would lack basic amenities like kids sitting on the floor, toilets not in place, drinking water not in place. And I guess when I started my journey as a banker. About 8 years I was a banker, and then because I wanted to be an entrepreneur, I took up my job. I left my job and became a strategy consultant. About 4 years as strategy consultant, and I think somewhere, being to her schools often and also seeing a lot of corporate travel, I just lost interest in the entire consulting. Like I could not even service my existing clients. I just could not get my brain cells to function and to find solutions to the challenges that there were in front of me. And I had to take a sabbatical, and I had to really explore what is my purpose of life, what is it, what are the things that really excite me, and what are the things that would really fulfill me. And I believe, her retirement and then going to her school and then seeing all the seeing all the students sitting on the floor, that's where I had an idea that maybe I could do just some frugal bit on my own side to kind of change the state of these schools. And that's where the first idea, we created a bag. I and a friend of mine, we partnered and we created a bag which would convert into a floor desk, and it would help students sit in the right posture. I mean, the idea was an instant hit. We won a lot of awards, not just nationally, internationally. Even Sudha Murthy, when I met her, she sat down on the desk, and she was so excited. She wrote, and she kind of shared that she herself sat on the floor and studied, and this innovation made a lot of sense to her. So we won a lot of awards. However, we could not really scale. In terms of projections that we had planned, impact projections, we could not even get to 2%. And that's where we thought that we need to improve, we need to change, we need to improvise, and we created a better product. This was a back desk which would convert again in a floor desk. It had a mat also. Slightly better impact, slightly better numbers, slightly better reach, but again, we could not really make a big dent. A lot of feedback that came to us that government schools are in such bad shape. What will you do by just providing this bag? This will not make any impact. And that's when we were kind of disheartened, and I took a back seat. My friend, he moved out because he had to he could not sustain. And I was thinking, this is a problem. I'm genuinely excited about solving this problem, but I'm not able to solve it. And and then I kind of just introspected on all the feedback that came, and the solution was right there. It was that we need to look at transforming the entire school. And though it was big, I mean, the idea was a big idea, but we had to take it on. So we identified some schools, and then we tried in our frugal ways to transform those schools. So these are those initial images of schools that we've transformed in Maharashtra, parts of Rajasthan. We created playscape, we created beautiful wall arts, we improved the toilets of these schools. And, you know, after that, I mean, once we had improved all this, we actually started getting a lot of traction. We started getting a lot of attention. Finally, traction was coming in, and in 2020, we had dreams of scaling it up and reaching to thousands of schools. And that's where COVID happened. And as a consequence, you all know, schools were shut. And, we were completely, I mean, I think we had planned around 25 odd schools with a turnover of around 5 crores, and we just came to zero. And that's where we thought that maybe we should not take this as a defeat, but rather use this time to build our model better. So we started researching on how UNICEF has conceived or conceptualized schools, how Government of India has suggested schools should be, and then we created our own model of how a model school should be and how we can transform thousands of schools at scale using this model, very similar to how OYO has transformed hotel property at scale. And while we were working on this, another problem hit us, and this was that millions of students were disconnected from education. Like they were not going to schools, and they were not having internet connections, and they were essentially disconnected from education. So that's where we innovated and created this audio device wherein we put in all the education content, and then we created these sheets that students could use at home and they could continue their education. So we tested this in Gondia and a few other districts, got some traction, but again, we really could not scale because COVID, people were unsure whether they want to take this up at a big scale, whether COVID would stay for that long or not. However, by trying to solve this problem, one critical discovery happened. In person, I actually got exposed to the purpose of education, like the real authentic purpose of education, which is to have competencies being built among students and have that conceptual understanding be delivered to students such that their competencies are built. And that's where the missing loop of school transformation I could finish. So we already were working on infra, and then we knew that we need to figure a solution wherein we could deliver competency-based education at scale to these schools, and then we are ready. And for the second piece, we did not start from scratch. I interviewed more than 250 other partners available in the country. We found the best possible partner who was working in competency-based education, and that's where we created a solution which was in shape, model infrastructure and competency-based learning. These are a few schools that we transformed post-COVID. I think January, February 2022 is when we transformed the school in Khari Charnan in Rajasthan, and then we put in art which would also inspire students to build in various different qualities to aspire for different professions. So this was not just transforming schools and making them welcoming, but really making them inspirational. Again, a few images from the same school, a few images from a primary school nearby, and you can see the excitement of kids when they saw their school transformed. Again, Upreli Dhani School. A lot of doodle art, a lot of fun stuff was actually put into these schools while we were transforming these schools. This is a school in Hyderabad, Upreli. This Ulhasnagar school was special because this is where a government came forward and told us that give us a model school. And we took up this school, which was a 1948 school, completely in shambles. And you can see the images on the left. It's just in a very bad shape. And we kind of transformed this school into a very, very vibrant school. The student count in the schools went up from 95 to 165 just because we transformed the school. And then we put in science labs, we put in, digital library, we put in various different kinds of hanging libraries, sports equipment, a playscape, smart classes. And then post that, the next challenge came in when one of our partners wanted us to transform a school in Ladakh, which was very close to the China border. Even getting material there was difficult, and then we had to reiterate and improve our model. And we did transform this school very close to the Galwan Valley where India-China clash happened. And these are the images of that school, where we created science labs, we created STEM lab. And then finally, we are also executing competency-based learning in Ulhasnagar with Ulhasnagar district government and in Ladakh. Durbuk block, again, same place wherein we are working with 30 schools on competency-based learning. So, besides all this success, which we kind of got early this year, for the most part of, but 6-7 months in between, we could not really scale at the pace we thought we would scale. And that's where, I was wondering that maybe we are not able to crack the challenge of fundraising. Again, looked back, figured as to what is the challenge, and then I was thinking, maybe we are not able to, maybe our pitch is not right, maybe we are not able to connect with people better. And I hired a sales coach, productivity coach, and then the first pitch that I gave him, and he said that you're just too mechanical. Try and connect with people, share stories, and then they will understand your vision, they'll understand what you're trying to do, and then you'll be able to co-create with them and build your dreams and maybe transform schools at scale. So, that was a brilliant piece of advice which I took up, and that's where I worked. And then I think post that, we have created partnerships. So we are now doing schools with Dabur in Jammu. We are doing schools with Mahindra Sustain in Rajasthan, and several other partners with in states like Assam, in southern states. So essentially, the model is now finally scaling for both infrastructure and quality education. The key learnings that I've derived from this entire journey, one is that everything will change. So, when we started, our products changed, the core team changed, laws changed, competition changed. So change is a constant and you cannot avoid it. And you need to, really use that change to your advantage and create solutions and come up with ideas which can help you go forward in achieving your dreams. If you look at change, the science of change, you would see that from the tip of universe to deep within your body, change is happening every second. We may not be able to see it from our naked eyes, and maybe the pace of change is too fast or too slow for us to really notice. But in this galaxy, in this universe, everything is constantly changing, constantly evolving. There's nothing fixed. And hence, the best solution is to really embrace this change rather than resist it. And once you embrace this change, it helps you really plan and create solutions which are relevant, which are useful, which really make sense to the society. And besides this, one of the other key learning that I kind of acquired while scaling up this social venture is that we need to authentically connect with people. We cannot be mechanical when we are trying to achieve our dreams, when we are trying to build, uh, you know, businesses or ventures, social ventures, or we are trying to solve any problem. So, from my life journey so far, the one key idea that I would like to leave with you is that embrace change, work with it, don't resist it. And that is where you can create tremendous growth in your careers, tremendous satisfaction and fulfillment for yourself, and a uh, deeply satisfying life. And now we are on our journey to I'm on my journey to achieve my dream, which is to transform schools. And like you see, this image is of a school that we have transformed in Hyderabad. This is one of my favorite images, so I wanted to kind of end my note with this image. I hope in our the in my posts, in my communications, you are able to see more of such images going forward of schools transformed in future. Thank you.